We're driving to our second warehouse right here. So DZ HQ 2 is where we're going. Deliverzen HQ 2. And I'll never forget how we started this company in 2017. Over the course of about 3 to 5 years, people dropped off, and it was just really just me. And I had some other guys with us, but working and being there, but we weren't making money. We were losing money, trying to figure it out. Didn't really know everything about it. I signed my name on this warehouse that we're going to here, and I had to do a personal guarantee of about $2.2 million. I didn't have that. I didn't have any of that. I'm not even close to that. But I had to guarantee that. That means if we went in here and we didn't turn the business profitable and we weren't making money, then we would lose money, we'd bankrupt the company, and I would lose my house, I'd lose everything. At the time, I was newly married. My wife had gotten pregnant with our first daughter, got a young family, trying to figure all this out. And I remember after the first year of us starting to kind of figure it out a little bit, not making money all the time, but maybe starting to kind of figure out the business model a little bit. After about the first year, my wife got diagnosed with cancer, which is like, dang it. So we're in this new building. We have a newborn baby girl, and then we have my wife, who is actually pregnant with our second girl at the time now, and diagnosed with cancer. And I remember sitting there praying to God. I said, God, I have invested everything you've given me into this business. I've told you it's your business for years. This is not for me. I do have personal goals, things that I want to get to, but ultimately this is not for me. It's your business, God. You have to make it work now, or it's not going to work. So I was open-handedly saying, God, this is your business. I'm not burying my head or this talent in the sand. I'm actually taking the talents that you give me, the stuff that I had at the time, the money I had at the time, and investing into this thing, pouring everything into this, going through this. Some people call it taking risks, and some people will call it taking steps of faith. For me, getting this building here, signing my name on the lease, was a step of faith. I had felt like this was the right direction. I felt like God was calling us to move in this direction. We were losing money, trying to figure it all out, everything. It was December 22, I guess. Yeah, 2022. So in that moment, I'm sitting in there holding my little 1-year-old girl. I got a wife who's got cancer. She's pregnant. I told God that. I said, God, I'm not burying this talent in the sand. I'm actually going to invest this and build and take this risk and take this step of faith, because I believe that you've given us this opportunity. And I've told you over and over and over again, this is your company, and I'll go build and do whatever I need to do to honor you. I didn't know what God was going to do. I had no idea. But the very next month, we made our biggest profit that we had ever made at the time. In 1 month, it was 6 figures worth of net profit. It was incredible. It was miraculous. I never want to forget that story. I never want to forget how God honored that and literally answered a direct prayer. So now, the reason I say that is because we're in a very similar position. And we had an incredible opportunity of a building we're in now that you've probably seen some clips of, that we decided to move into and sublease. 173,000 square feet total, 164,000 square feet of warehouse with conveyors and racking, everything that we ever dreamed of. The vision we had for this company literally in this new building that we're in. It's unbelievable. I'm not exaggerating. The vision for it. It's awesome. And so I just saw God's hand all over it. However, I still was uncertain. I still was a little bit, hey, should we do this? Should we not? I looked back on what God had done prior in this company and in my life and in my family, and how he blessed Deliverzen in the 34,000 square feet. The way that we got this building, the way that other building came on, like it was all through relationships that we had. And the timing of everything was just so impeccable that I couldn't deny that God's hand was all over this. So it doesn't mean, that we're going to be successful. It doesn't mean we're going to make money. It doesn't mean that we won't fail and that we're guaranteed all this. It is not what that means. But I took a step of faith by going into the bigger building and signing our name on that one, because I've seen God work in prior steps in very similar ways. I said, God, if this is it, make it abundantly clear. And he made it abundantly clear for us to go into the 164,000 square feet that we are in now. God miraculously made that work. And we are in a very similar position going into 164,000 square feet, where it has to work only by God's hand. There's not a whole lot that we can do. Everybody's got to keep moving. You keep showing up every day, but the dream will not work. The business will not work without God stepping in, putting the pieces together at the right time. And he seems to be doing that. So even going and, subleasing this space out, we got 2 tours today, and hopefully one of them signs, we'll see. And just the timing of everything coming together. God has been pretty impeccable in that. So a lot of people talk about it. It's like, hey, you take risks, and your risks, you get, the greater the risk, the greater reward. And for me, it's like, I understand that, taking risks, but for me, it's been more about taking steps of faith. Because if I go into these with the acceptance of this is God's company, it's God's business, it's up to him, right? It's not meant to be up to me. It's meant to be, it's up to God. The second side of it is we show up every day doing everything we can to honor God. We're going to live the way that He's called us to live as best we can. We're not perfect by no means. And in that way, when I come through it from that perspective, you start to, my faith has grown tremendously. So for me, it's not about taking risks. It's more about taking steps of faith, which has been pretty incredible. And these buildings that we're going to are a living example of that for me.
Like it really was just like for a few weeks, you know, like it wasn't like an insane long-term change. Yeah, my baseline changed. So 31 square feet total.
It's pretty nice. Honestly, it's insulated up top.
Yeah, it's all that.
It's pretty. I mean, the building's a great building.
Those are 24 feet.
24.
That's already doing the math. So
I think it's 26, 24. We could fit. So we did a V&A setup. So if you look right here, so very near our aisle. The aisles.
Oh yeah, that's it. Change your pace from Harry Hines. You have home neighborhood.
You got it in our minds now. We have to be tour ready.
Oh yeah, I mean it's impossible to not now, dude. Like,
the way I toured this space, and I know exactly what you're saying, because it's like you're like, man, this is not that showy. Wherever you're at, you pick that location, you scan that order, and it goes right to the pack. So you're literally taking like one step, grabbing it.
That's right there, yeah.
It's all right. So we did a ton of bulk ship right here. We did all this D2C pack out. We run it down the middle, and we'd sort at the end in the Gaylords, and then we'd push it off on the trucks. But we started, and we had like 10 to 16,000 orders a month in total. Total between 8 different customers at a time. It's not for everybody, man. Yeah, here, restrooms here, break room. If you guys want all these tables, all right, Sansing dropped the mic in between the car seat here, and he couldn't find it. So we just got done. Looks like a little detour here. Just got done. We got about an hour break. We just toured potential sublease guys. Love the dudes. Permaplug. Go check him out. Zach Jones over there with his brand Permaplug. He's got a lot of fulfillment side going on. He's building a 3PL space with his partner over there. Pretty cool. So looking at subleasing our old space there, the one I talked about a little bit. And then we're going over here to Pinpoint Merchandising. Scott Graham, a good buddy of ours, who does a ton of like merch, apparel designs, all this stuff for a ton of influencers and big brands and merch drops. Cut and sew, it's pretty cool stuff they do. A lot of what they do is awesome, sourcing start to finish. And we're gonna do a quick walkthrough because we have about an hour. We actually have about 45 minutes. Right now I wanted to show Sansing that space, and then we're gonna come back over here and tour this space again at 11 o'clock with the guys that we're actually currently negotiating the lease on now at this building to hopefully sublease and get this thing closed. Anyway, making that happen. Sorry about the audio again. Sansing, finger fumble is what he did.
So we're at Pinpoint Merchandising, and we just walked through the office. It's a pretty sick office. You can kind of see behind me, like open floor plan, some cool like window exec offices out there. They got like, I don't know, 20-something thousand square feet of warehouse out there. But really cool, really good partners. Just a cool facility, cool vibe, artwork on the wall. They got a sword in the just cool sword, like cool like movie memorabilia in there. But they work with some really cool brands out there too. Probably don't know if I can share all the brands or not, but we did take some B-roll. So if we can, awesome. If we can't, we'll blurb all this out. But they got CrossFit, they got Black Rifle Coffee, they've worked with Peloton, they've worked with some big name gyms that you know, all that stuff. So really cool stuff, really great partner, cool guys. Check them out, pinpointmerchandising.com. We are touring our second tour of the day at the old facility here. These guys are further along in the sublease. They actually have the lease kind of fine-tuned. We got a few steps that we're waiting on. I think if they like the tour today, then they'll sign off and go forward and move forward and be good to go.
Hated it. It was not a young man's sport, you know, but I did it for my family.
Yeah, man, for sure. The what type of business, what type of freight are you moving? So LTL, but anything specific?
Just dry freight, non-hazmat. I used to do a lot of reefer loads.
That's awesome, bro. Are you on LinkedIn?
I'm on LinkedIn, yes.
We left that tour of the second tour of the sublease tenant over there. Hopefully they subleased it, which is great. And then we are back at my casa, here at my house, which is awesome. I'm gonna get some work done for the next hour. Then my wife and I are going to handle something after that this afternoon. But just got off of a Minect call. Check them out, Minnect. It's an app. Patrick, Bet, David, those guys built that app where you can actually
reach out and consult or meet and talk with a lot of different people, a lot of different industries all over. Check them out. It's pretty cool. So I've done a couple of those. This guy, Anthony, is in our freight industry. He found me on Connect, it looks like. There's different ways you can like text, video response or voice response, or you can do actually like a 15-minute call. He just paid to book a 15-minute call with us. Networking in the industry, it's good stuff. I've done the same stuff where I've texted and asked questions. It's really pretty cool. So if you want to hit me up on Connect, which is awesome. We're back at the house, got to get some work done. So yeah. The last piece of this is like, one is like, yeah, I remember those times and it was hard. You know, you're worried, you don't know what's going on. You're in a good position. You're hustling. Like you're probably worried, but you're hustling. And so, yeah, who you know, network, and the timing of that. And when those two worlds collide, man, when that collides and you look back, you're like, for me, I look back, I can't explain to you that. That's only God. Yeah. So we're in a similar time now, man. We took on a 164,000 square feet warehouse with 40 pack stations, conveyors, everything you could ever dream of for a boutique 3PL. That's divine intervention. It's only by what God's will has done. And so, yeah, I remember the days you're talking about 100%. But ultimately, man, it's like just keep showing up, keep going, keep networking, keep packing orders, keep taking advantage of the 8,000 square feet you got. You know, just keep pushing forward because it's pretty remarkable. That's a fast 2 weeks, bro. 2 months in, you're 2 weeks in. You ran through. 3 is our IT right here, IT administrator.
Hi,
Vaughn.
Hey. Hello.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Sweet you.
Hi.
Hi.
Go on.
You know, there's really only 2 things that you're going to be responsible for is making sure one is order management, whether that's wholesale, retail, D2C, whatever it may be. You know, make sure that's good. That way we don't have to change nothing and we can consider our systems. And then 2, enter your purchase orders in our system. That's it, which is what you're telling us, what you're sending us from your suppliers all over the world. Day 2, next day right here, the vlog, got our lunch here. Kind of closing out, final thoughts here. It's crazy to see just like entrepreneurship. Everybody talks about it and it is one of the toughest things you can do for sure. By the way, I shaved my beard. So you've seen, shaved it this morning, kind of cleaned it all off. So I went from beard to like dang near no beard. But man, it is one of the toughest things because you just take hit after hit after hit. And really what it is, like the ones that are successful, the ones that can just keep showing up. And so for me, it's like, I tell our team all the time, just show up. Traction every day, just keep showing up. Embrace the conflict, embrace the tough issues, solve problems, and live it with a lifestyle of service. And I'm telling you, man, it will be extremely rewarding as you kind of continue to push through. So really, as I look at everything, it's like, it's not a matter of taking risks and what we've done here, what I've done here with our company. It's taking steps of faith, guided steps of faith, and having a dream that is so big that only God can do it. I heard that from a book, Chase the Lion, Mark Batterson. And that is an incredible book, so go check it out. But really having a dream so big that only God can do it. And then when you're in that time of that season of tough struggle, it feels alone. It does. It feels like nobody else gets it, and that's part of the game, because sometimes people can't, but there's other people that have been in those shoes, which is great. And ultimately, keeping that vision that is from the Lord in mind has allowed me at least to push through these tough seasons and getting punched, taking these hits from wherever it may be. In these tight cash flow seasons as you're trying to grow and transition even this company, as we're kind of going through right now, which has been a heck of a journey, just growth, struggle, pains. Just keeping the vision that God has given me in line with where we're headed and taking those steps of faith and just saying, God, this is your company. Whether we win or lose, whatever it may be, it's to your glory, which has been phenomenal. And so I think I've seen God work in that so many ways. That's been such a blessing. Sign off. See you guys in the next one. Kapow!